What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Connected Sound podcast. This is DJ Rello. Tonight, I got a very, very special guest. I got Supa Dupa Sultan in the building. Pro Sound Studio, Harrisburg representative. What's good with you, my guy? Appreciate you for coming through, man.
You already know, man. Shout out DJ Rello.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm here, you know?
Yes, sir. This is something that we definitely, for certain, had to have happen. Just your story got to be heard. You've been around and you've been in the culture and you've been a part of the culture longer than anybody around here, for real. If somebody has been in the culture longer than you, I need to meet them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like to start off the podcast of how I met the guest or how I came across the guest. How I came across Soup and how I came across Pro Sound. I was taking my cousin up to Harrisburg. He needed a prom suit. He like, man, I don't want just any old prom suit. I need something fresh. I need something different than everybody got. I said, yo, I'm going to take you to the spot where I went and got my suit. Went to Eddie's Men's Shop. Eddie's Men's Shop, in there shopping. My cousin looking for a suit. And I'm like, man, I hear some noise upstairs, man. And I always just, always just hip to hearing the music. They like, yo, there's a studio upstairs. I'm like, studio? Around here, there's a studio. I'm like, let me go up there. So I went up there and I literally, nobody even seen me. I peeked up there and was like, I'm about to come back. I didn't personally rap, but I had hella artists that did rap from this area. And I'm like, yo, fuck it. Let's go up to Harrisburg. I found a studio. They said it was dope at the Men's Shop where I get my shit sometimes. And that's when I first found out about Pro Sound. That was probably like 2009 or 10.
2010, that's when we opened.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah, that's when my cousin graduated from high school. Yeah, 2010, yeah.
And what's crazy about that is I actually, once I got the studio, I found out that a couple dudes from Chambersburg had that studio before me.
For real?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I actually came out, I used to come out here all the time.
Yeah.
Edited my videos. Like, I used to fuck with all the camera guys out here in Chambersburg back 2011, right. 2012.
Yeah. We definitely had a lot of guys that was big into the videography and photography. And a lot of them were pretty good, for real. And that's really how I really, like I said, coming across your studio, coming across them. They were doing videos for artists that I thought was pretty big at the time. And I was always a fan of that. And like I said, I never made music, but I always was the type, I wanted people to make music. I was always a fan of music. I produced, I would engineer people, but I never like actually made the music myself. And so that's how I came across Pro Sound. And one other thing I remember, and this is what I always would tell people, the first time I came there, and the first time I came to Pro Sound, I brought an artist up there with me by the name of Cadet.
Cadet.
Yep, brought Cadet up there with me, and brought a couple other guys with me. None of them really got in the booth, but Cadet. One thing that I was like, damn, Pro Sound is fire. Y'all was up in there cooking fish, fried fish.
Yeah.
I got a plate of fried fish, and it was hitting.
Yeah, that was the team, that team from 2010, 2011, all that.
Yeah.
That was the ones for real. Like, we came out the gate tough.
Yeah,
all steezy for real. Like,
for sure.
It was different for real. Like, we flaming shit for Meek, everybody back then.
Yeah,
like,
I remember it all, man. If I wasn't coming to the studio and being a part of it, I definitely was hearing about it. At that time, I was pretty much locked in though, working for real, just doing whatever I was doing. I wasn't like too focused on the music at that time. I was focused on other people, helping them pursue their career. But it's like, as far as me pushing anything, as far as me being a musician, I really wasn't like on that tight time. Then I was just thinking of some whole other shit. But anytime I came up with the Pro Sound, I always had a good time. And it was always all love. And I went up there and I always learned some shit because, you know what I'm saying, we're an hour away here in Chambersburg. And you guys are closer to the mix.
Yeah.
You guys have more of a mix than we have here. You guys are close to Philly. You guys can get to Philly way closer than we can. So you guys can get there. So I always admired like the culture that you guys had in Harrisburg. It's not the biggest in PA. It's not the biggest in America, but I respect it because Harrisburg always has people that are trying to pursue music.
Yeah.
This area where I'm in, a lot of dudes might try for a little bit, but then they give up. It's just more people doing it in Harrisburg for sure. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of people go in and out. Earlier you mentioned All Steezy.
Yeah.
We'll get to all those guys. I want to talk about also the first time I really heard Supa, other than the studio, was you was putting out hella videos. And I was just always thinking like, damn, this dude is putting out, like you were putting out a lot of videos, bro.
Yeah.
Like you were on, like you know how Famous Dex kind of got big because he was putting out videos all the time. You always seen a video for Famous Dex. I was getting on YouTube. I was huge on YouTube. I was always seeing a video from Pro Sound HBG on YouTube. Directed by you.
When I first started, I started with the idea was I was going to do a video every day.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to edit, I would say. I probably could shoot just a tad big, so I always just have a camera.
Right.
But I never edited a video before.
Yeah.
And my first day I went in there, I shot a video, and I was like, I got edited. You know what I'm saying? I would just put shit on my shoulders every day. Like, you got to come up with content. You got to shoot every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that was huge for a lot of your early success at Pro Sound. If that's just me saying that, because you think this was 8, 9, 10 years ago you were doing that. Now what you were doing then is like the thing.
Right.
You're supposed to be putting out hella content. You're supposed to be putting out what you're doing. People want to see that shit. And you was doing it back then. So I know it was really, really helping you then. Like I said, I was here in Chambersburg. Even if I wasn't going, I still was seeing what y'all was up to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because of stuff you was posting. Even if I wasn't there, I felt like I knew exactly what was going on, who was popping, who was sounding good in Harrisburg from that page. And I think you did a really good job of that. Shit had to have been hard.
Yeah.
Putting out video content is difficult. I'm finding trouble just shooting a podcast.
Yeah.
I'm doing this once or twice a week.
Well, the real trick to that almost is it's almost like to not care. Like you can't have that much attachment to what you're doing because you're gonna lose steam.
Yes.
So early on, I didn't know that. Like I found that out through the time, but in the beginning, it was just like, this is just what I'm gonna do. Yeah. And if I told myself I was gonna do it, I felt like if I didn't do it, I didn't feel good to myself. So it was always me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm definitely the same way when it comes to that. I don't like to start things and finish. I'd rather just not even do it than to start it and to not finish it. A lot of other people, I came across a lot of people on, like I said, on your YouTube page and just you posting a lot of content on the page. One of the first videos I seen that went like viral for you was the Gusto So Sweet video.
Okay.
That was the first one. Like I said, I was always keeping up, but that one I was like, yo, this shit doing something for real. Yeah. I'm like, this shit doing something like on a like huge viral level type shit. How you feel as like a person behind the camera? Like, how'd you feel about that? You were thinking like, damn, this might be my break as far as like behind the camera type shit?
No.
You wasn't thinking that?
No, I never think that.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I feel like I don't have like a bunch of big names, because my camera was driven from the studio. Like everything to me was driven from the studio. Like, so the camera was only I didn't want to pay for marketing. Yeah. And I was like, the videos around here don't look good. So like instantly I was like, I could give that away to everybody that's gonna make them come to the studio. If I give them that, right? Even though I'm not good, I know I could be better than what the market had. So every time it was like, sometimes I would get myself like on a journey, I get caught out there and people might get me into chasing the videos, and I always gotta remember, because I might do something I don't like it. Like that wasn't a good experience.
Right.
So I would reset and always remember, like, the camera is to hype your studio up. That's not to hype you up.
Right. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah.
So Supa Dupa is like the character that was created for Pro Sound.
I got you. That makes perfect sense. You did a good job of it. Like I said, you had a lot of people tapped in, and that definitely 100% made people come to the studio. Like when you're seeing it and you get to see what people are actually doing and what people are up to, it just makes them want to be a part of it for real. Even if you're not from Harrisburg, like I said, I would travel an hour to come up there for real, and I wasn't even one recording. I would go up there, spend my money for someone else to record. You feel me? Just because I fucked with the atmosphere, I fucked with the vibes, and it was like the place where you can go in this area where it was like, yo, I'm really at a stew.
Yo, bro, I got a lot of support from this area, bro. Like, I appreciate you and all the up and coming artists in this area, and the artists that was doing it, that stopped. It's a lot of them I can name.
Yeah, I know.
Like, and I appreciate that, bro.
I know you could probably name. I mean, everybody done came through Pro Sound at least once. I feel like before in this area, if you take music seriously, for sure. What would you think the reason for putting down the camera or not doing it as much? You just got busy with other endeavors, or it just like you kind of fell out of it?
Yeah, you know, actually I'm shooting a lot right now. But
yeah, I've definitely been seeing more pop up.
But to put it down and like to answer your question, I was like, I start really wanting to like climb up the ladder. And it was like, all right, like the camera is like, it can get you indoors, right? So when people was like using it for like that was their attraction, was like, I'm gonna use this camera and it's gonna get me in the door. Okay, I can get a girl, I can get a video, like you feel me? And for me, it wasn't that. Like I already had the girl, already had the, you know what I'm saying? I had everything already that was, so it was like, I'm getting around Dirk and so many people and it just wasn't making sense. Like stuff just wasn't falling in the sense. So I was like, all right, like I'm not here on no camera-ish. Yeah. So like, you feel me? Like but it's still something that is like, I still have to use it because it's still a tool. Right. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, you just gotta use your shit the right way. I feel like all the times, and that's what make the experiences you have. Right. Do you think that having the camera helped you get into some rooms that you might not have been able to get into at the time? Yes. Yeah. Like my two biggest videos was with Johnny Blaze. And one of them got 10 million, and another one got 4 million. And both of those was like, that was strictly camera work. Like that Joe had me on TV, had me out the country, like numerous times, like a lot of different like experiences too. It got me, again, it was just really set up for Pro Sounds. Right. Yeah, it's the perfect marketing tool for real, having the camera. And I've seen it plenty of times. I don't shoot other than the podcast for real, but I see a lot of my friends that take pictures and shit, and I see them getting into shows, no ticket. They don't know anybody, but somehow, some way, they getting in the ticket, they getting all access because they got that camera and they good with the camera. Even if they not that good, they still can get in with the camera. I definitely know that's like a backstage pass type of shit when you got a camera, you're good at it, and you're not afraid to talk to people and put yourself out there for real. Yeah. When you're not afraid to put yourself out there and you got a tool like a camera, it really, like, a lot of things really come easy. I should use it all the time. Like it should be with me now. I've had so many more experiences that were like better than like how I started. Right. And actually was showing me my dream. And it's crazy because I didn't have a camera, and it's like, you know what I mean? That's why I said that not caring, that unconscious competence is like super special. Yeah, it is. It is. Anytime that I just like go and do things for the most part, it always works out. Anytime I'm like pump faking, and it's like, why am I pump faking? This, like you said, I should have the camera. Like, I go a lot of places, never take that camera. I only use it to shoot a podcast. Never shoot a show.
never do any of that. When all actuality, I should take it.
Because how many issues you run into, like even if you out with your artist, right? He's really a different person for you if you have the camera and you roll, and it's like, you feel me? But if you're with, you got to bring in a cameraman sometimes. Like, again, like that's motive driven. Sometimes this dude might might need a girl, you know. It's different.
Listen, I done. That happened to me all tours. Essentially, we would go to different cities. Skiles would never have a set photographer, so every city I would go into, I'll be like, "Yo, what's up? Who wants to shoot?" And I would let them know, like, "Yo, listen, man, I don't need anything crazy. Just get a picture of me DJing. I don't want to be posing. Just get a picture of me in action." They come, I get them backstage. We doing everything. They meet me and Scott. They backstage with us. They shooting. Next day, days prior, yo, what's up? Where them pictures at, man? Why I'm only seeing little skies up? What's up? Yo, oh, my fault. Yo, I ain't even get a good picture of you. I'm like, yo, I done gave you the red carpet treatment. But to get one picture of me to put on my Instagram, and you talking about you only took pictures of little skies, man. Just like you said, a lot of dudes be driven. They have like motives that you don't know about. And them dudes just really wanted to get shots of little skies because putting little skies up is going to make their Instagram go crazy. Putting DJ Rello up, they like, it's not going to make my shit jump for real. It's going to do what it normally does because I'm taking the picture. They ain't going to go crazy. So they looking at it like, I get it if I get it type shit. And now I tried to be at the point where I would bring photographers, but then that costs money. And then if they don't do things right, then you feel like, damn, I'm paying you money. Why aren't you doing this right? So I just need to be bringing the camera and do it myself for real. I'll be always wanting things to be perfect and to be how I think they should be, rather than, like you said, just doing things and not caring and just
because you might get what you're looking for by just, you know, like sometimes this shit, like it just happens and like. You can't really like force it. Like it just it'll happen backwards for you. Like, like I got the camera. Really, you just wanted to be on camera so you could, you know what I'm saying? You got that drip. You just want you know, and it's just like, and then it's like, you know, you might have a camera out and then, you know, you get spotted a whole different way. So
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. One thing I had to ask before I get on to anything else. I want to know, I always knew you as Winner Circle.
Right.
And then now I don't see Winner Circle anymore. I see Activated. What was the reason for the change? I fucked with Winner Circle. I thought that was hella catchy. I remember you would always use the emoji, the WC emoji, and I said, how the fuck this nigga got his own emoji? Obviously it ain't yours, but it's like, that's good. It just so happened that Apple got a damn WC emoji. I don't know what the hell it means, but I guess it means Winner Circle. It was for me. That's what I still, to this day, I don't even know if they still have that. Yeah. But I still don't see the WC posted from anybody because it just doesn't have a reason. But what was the reason for the change from Winner Circle now Activated?
The people, like that was on the brand. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I felt like they just wasn't true. So, you know what I'm saying, I had to drop it. And to just get some new energy to it, because that's how I feel like when something, the one thing is me is like, I've never been afraid to like step off. Like, period. Like if it's something that I did, it ain't working, I drop it.
Facts. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to fail. That's one thing that I always tell people. Failing is going to happen. You've been in business for 10 plus years. I know that has not been perfect.
No.
The whole 10 years. People think that because you're successful, because you've had a studio for the whole time, people thinking probably, and this nigga got it made.
No.
He got made. Everything going right for him. Everything is good for him. Everything is peaches and cream. And it's like, that shit really ain't like that. Like, you are still here because you were resilient. This shit ain't easy. It ain't for everybody.
You're resilient and reinvention.
Yeah, you have to be.
Constantly changing and, and staying connected with what's going on. But I say it changed fast. You know what I'm saying? The game changed fast.
For sure. Most definitely. It definitely changes fast. You've seen a lot of guys go from like early buzzing type guys. Like I said, I'm dating way back, probably showing age a little bit, but when I first came in there, I remember the dudes that was ringing a bell for me in Pro Sound was Joey Jihad. I remember hearing Reed Dollars, them type dudes, and then a little bit further, I would start to hear about Dirk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would start to hear about Meek coming. You know what I mean? I would hear about, you know what I mean, Pro Sound and Winter Circle at the time, like dealing with those type of guys. And now all those guys, I mean, except for Joey Jihad and them, all those guys is pretty huge artists.
Yeah.
They're all big artists, right? And you was there and you was around those guys at the very, like, pretty much beginning stages of their career and their like come up and ascension into the industry. How you feel about that? That shit is, to me, it's one thing if you can like see it and be around it once. When you can see it and be around it multiple times, then that means like you're supposed to be around it. Anything can happen for people once.
Yeah.
But it happened multiple times, and that's what it's supposed to be. And like I said, you've seen a lot of these guys from the early stages coming up. And those are just the bigger names. We'll get to some other guys here in a minute, but how you feel about that, being able to see those guys go from, you know what I mean, early stages to like huge, like selling out arenas and shit type niggas.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They, basically they just men like me, as I am, chasing a dream. Mm-hmm. And, they more like focus on what it is that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So like most of the guys I be around that's super successful are rappers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like if you rapping, it's easy for them to do things for you. Yeah. Like for people to be able to do things for you because you're a rapper. So it's already carved out. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of guys that was coming like I was, like, you know what I mean? I got all my stuff independent. Mm-hmm. It's not really like no set form, like, okay, you shoot videos. They didn't really, wasn't a whole lot that they could do for a video director that didn't go to school. Right. You know what I mean? You taught yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially
so like,
then.
Yeah. So me, it's a journey. So being around those people, those are like experiences for me. Mm-hmm. Like, and to be able to see things and be able to take different things and then be able to apply them for myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Be able to read you, because I'm honestly like, I really only have to see things one time. I'm like a super inspired person.
Yup, same here.
So like when I see things and I like them, then it's like, all right, I seen that, I peeped that, like that's what's going on. And and I'm able to then make a decision if it's something that I want to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I find a lot of my inspiration when I go places. I just like to take inspiration from place to place. If I go somewhere and I like how they're operating or they're doing something, I might try to take something from there and apply it to whatever I'm doing, whether it's DJing, whether it's the studio, whether it's everyday life. I like the way this dude is organized or something. Like, damn, I need to get like that. I'll try to apply that shit too. Other than those guys, like I said, those guys have went on and had big careers. Another guy that I remember in the early stages of Pro Sound was All Steezy. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I made beats and stuff myself, and I remember seeing All Steezy, and I remember he I don't even think he remembers this, but I remember he saying something about like, don't take forever like making a beat. Like don't like it's not rocket science. Like do it, forget about it, get on to the next one type of deal. I just thought All Steezy was like a fucking animal. I was like, this dude's really pumping out beats, and he wasn't pumping out bullshit. Like he was pumping out fire beats. I just, like I said, I remember All Steezy. Like
I feel like the record labels like probably fucked that up.
Yeah, they can do that. They be doing that. They definitely be doing that, especially the young artists.
It was like everything we was doing on our own, like without them.
Right.
And then like when we like did business with them, it was like they were changing us. Like, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that. And me at the time, I was probably a little naive. So like I was bringing that back to the producer, like, you feel me? Like this the assignment. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? He really wasn't feeling it. Like, you feel what I'm saying? He wasn't feeling it. But it was like, you feel me? We had already took their money.
Yeah.
And it was like,
kind of got to at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Steezy, you feel me? Like, he let a game.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, and you know how this shit go. Like,
yep.
You might not have time for that. You just don't. Like, and it was assignments every day.
From the label.
Yeah.
I got you.
Like, okay, flip this. Okay, these stems, that stems, remake this. And like, you know, all the time for people creating art, they might can't do it right at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah, facts. And not because you can't, but just because like you're not in that like
it didn't transform to work.
Yeah.
And a lot of times executives is working. And artists are creating, like, so like, you know what I mean? An exec will come in and they want something done.
Right.
And now the other person who, you know what I mean, they might can't get in that mood, like, so it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like,
makes things
it was probably, I felt like maybe in some of those situations, like, you know what I mean, just thinking about it, like even thinking back earlier and stuff like that, like the being able to like excel. You understand what I'm saying? And like for me, I was like a driven person. So like just unconsciously, I was already like a master promoter, like without thinking about it or reading about it. Like I just knew how to get the word out. So I would take artists, okay, you got a little situation with Meek. All right, let me make sure I could keep you around Meek Mill as much as you can, as I can, without costing them a dime.
Right. Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's like, that's putting you up there, putting you
in positions, putting you in a room that you wouldn't have been in. For sure.
And you know, in the music industry, like, it ain't a lot of money, like, really when you starting out.
It's not.
Like, you gotta learn, you have to learn how to make money, especially if you're going, like, take it as a journey.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on a journey. I took the situation as a journey. Some people just trying to get to a destination. So, like, it's different routes. So, like, if you just trying to get to a destination, like, then you know what I mean, you could probably do some type of real good research.
Yeah. And
somebody will be able to give you a easy outline you can follow.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But me, I just journey this shit out. Like, I'm figuring stuff out.
Can't be afraid to fail, like we said earlier. Yeah. Can't be afraid to fail. The L's and the fails, they come with it, for real. Another artist I want to get into is Plain James. Plain James is an artist that I remember was in there in the studio a lot when I was in there, and I would just be amazed. I'm like, this nigga here can do songs for real. I just remember he was in there pumping out songs, all Steezy in there making beats. And I would come up there and I'd be like, damn, there's really some talented niggas in here for real. Like, it really is. Like, the talent pool where I was at here in Chambersburg, I was like, this shit is not like this. Like, these niggas know what they doing.
We was loaded, bro.
You know what I mean? Niggas knew what they was doing, making songs. To relatively easy too.
Yeah.
Plain James was doing that. And then again, like I said, you Plain James, I see him in Harrisburg. And then I remember one day James is like, yo, I'm about to shoot this video in Shippensburg. You need to pull up. And I said, man, I got something to do tonight. I can't pull up. And then not long after that, I see James signing with CMG. And I'm like, I'm thinking Pro Sound or was somewhere involved. I'm assuming they wasn't, or Soup wasn't. But it was just crazy to see two people go from Harrisburg to, I guess a lot of people would call it big time. They would go from they made it on a viral level, we would say now. How you feel about like seeing all that? Like, do you feel like you need more credit in this shit, or you feel like you got enough, or you feel like a lot of them dudes you put in a position, obviously they got their own talents and shit, but like the studio is the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, basketball players don't get better unless they in or at the gym.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And football players, they got to be in the gym too, you know, or on the field. You know what I mean? So that's why I'll be looking at the studio. So I feel like I seen dudes in there all the time, and then see them get signed, and I'm like, damn, like, you're not nowhere to be a part of that.
Yeah, the game is like, could be salty, bro.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, the last thing I ever make myself is a victim. Mm-hmm. Especially when I have success.
Yeah.
Like, because it's evident. Everybody see. Mm-hmm. Okay, he did that. You get around him, this happens for you. That's people think that's accident. No. You understand? So some people, like I said, be destinations.
Yeah.
And I was always like doing it. I was doing it pure.
Right.
And niggas just ran off on me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna tell you, like, it's like certain recipes that has to go, like, to make it work, right? And every time and what happens with me, I could say with some of mine is like some of my ingredients get a little fizzy and get messed up, and I keep cooking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. And it's like, and when I get to those points, I tell myself like, all right, you might get fizzed out, you know that, right? And then I be like, I still tell myself like, it's cool though. Mm-hmm. Like, all right. So just to say that, so you want to know this? You want to know what happened?
Yeah.
Or all right,
for sure. We can,
so
we can get into that.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. So All Steezy, I met All Steezy in Philly. Mm-hmm. James is a friend of All Steezy. Mm-hmm. When I was out here doing music, I was tied in with Harrisburg, all the trap. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Uptown, the South, the hill. I'm doing all the trap stuff. He would come to Egypt nightclub and perform. And I would see him in there, and I just, you know what I'm saying? He just wasn't like somebody. I see he was talented, but it was like, wasn't the music, like I said, is passion. Mm-hmm. So it's really like who I like. But he would always come to the studio, like one of those guys keep himself in position. Mm-hmm. And he knew All Steezy. So Steezy brought him in, like, okay, bring James in, TJ the director, I'm gonna shoot his videos, All Steezy, I'm gonna make the beats for him. And I was like, all right. So they talked me into it. We started letting him hang around the studio all the time, making stuff all the time. Yeah. And at that time, like, Gotti was my favorite artist. So like every day, like I listen to Gotti. I'm
Right.
listening to Gotti. You feel? I'm like basically imitating that man low key. You feel me? So, James, they stopped doing stuff for him. So it left me to do everything.
Right.
So I'm doing everything for him. Like basically, he got to live at the studio. I got to give him money for food.
That makes things difficult.
You know what I'm saying? And like my studio was my sanctuary. So I want to go to my studio every day. I spend all my time there.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I'm showing up to the studio, he like, it'd be dirty. And I was like, bro, just clean up. And it was like, it would just cause friction between me and him that really had nothing to do with the music.
Right.
So we would always clash on just his ethics of how he was as a guest, which should have had nothing to do with the
music he was putting together.
Yes, bro.
Right.
And he actually got mad at me about that, and you know what I'm saying, and dipped on me and went with some other dudes, right, for about a week. And the dude had kept coming up saying, yo, God, he was coming to my studio, was talking and shit like that. I was like, whoop, whoop, whoop. And then, next thing I know, they had him down, what's the name, and and me and him would get on the phone, and he would like get on the phone and just was blowing up on the phone and stuff like, and it was just like, you know what I'm saying? It was low key embarrassing, like, cause like everybody seen it, and then it was just like, he just like Gotti, like out of all people,
right?
The nigga just was like, you feel me? So I was like, all right, cool. So then nigga was like, boom, like Gotti gonna sign me, hit me. I said, damn, tell Gotti. Tell him you'll give him whatever he want, but tell him to sign you to somebody else, just not CMG. Oh, they hated me when I said that, bro. Niggas ain't want to talk to me no more, whoop. And I was just like, all right, cool. And at that point, I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go on social media. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying, talk about this. And I just fell back from the situation.
Right. I feel like it could have been a better fit. I mean, obviously, it could have been a better fit for him other than CMG. I mean, that it didn't. I mean, I understand it from Gotti's point of view. He's trying to collect talent. I mean, you see the roster he's put together now, but Gotti
in the situation, he didn't know. He wouldn't know because he was such a new person. Like they was presenting him and then getting him in a situation super quick without any type of check-in.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I was trying to tell the guys who was facilitating it that, like, when we around each other and things like that, we begin to mimic and we have little things that we pick up from other people.
Yep.
So when someone else comes around, they might not even dig it. They just might like you. So now, you know what I mean? Then you playing these songs and it was just like they bought it and they felt like that they could do that. And I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like me and James, you know what I'm saying, that was my brother. Like we was together all the time. He like basically lived in my studio. Like it's tons of stuff of us. Like, so that just me, him, Austezian, and T.O. and Agony.
Ag. You gotta shout out
and
Ag.
Almighty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was really a family, bro.
Yeah.
Like we, you know what I'm saying? Like it's documented. A lot of the stuff is documented. People looked at like that.
Sure.
And everybody who almost came out of that is successful. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it was like really the base ingredients we had.
Right. Next thing I need to add, since we're already talking about it, is team building and how difficult that shit is for real.
It's difficult now because I make it difficult. But before it wasn't difficult because I didn't care about a lot of the stuff that I allow myself to care about now. So like team building is like, if you at the top, it's how you see it. You boss. So there is no conflict. And like, okay, you're the engineer, you're the producer, he's the rapper. It really goes like that. You understand what I'm saying? And if you can't facilitate things and put them, then they're going to, I don't want... Ooh, dude, it's gonna be too much of that, and then you won't get shit done.
Yeah,
So it's like before with my team building, it was like once I seen somebody and I had seen the talent and I myself had like passion for you, like boom, I met this person quick and it didn't take me long. And once I had felt that, then I was just like, I was gonna put you in position to do what you was saying you was gonna do.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm on. I'm big on that. Like, don't tell me anything unless you actually gonna come through and do it.
Yeah.
Because if you tell me something, I'm gonna try to put you in position to do it or accomplish it, achieve it, whatever. I'm that friend. I'm that guy that's gonna try to help you get to that point. Just because I like seeing people win, especially if I got a little bit of part in your W. I love that shit. I don't got to be the reason that you did it, but I like to be a part, and that made me feel good. That made me feel like I'm doing things for the right way. So I always like to do that. I think I need to adopt a little bit of your way of thinking when it comes to team building, or at least the way you used to think about it, and stop. Like I said, I want perfection. A lot of times I want perfection. I want things or be as close to perfection as it can get. And a lot of times I feel like if I can do it better than someone, I can find someone better. But that doesn't mean that someone better is available. So sometimes you have to work with what you have, and I have to do a better job of that. I don't think I've done a good job because, like I said, I want perfection. So I'll be like, I don't want to deal with it if it's not sometimes. But that's just me thinking how I want things to be rather just doing it. And
right.
Like, I'll have a lot of goals. Another thing, speaking of goals, watched a video of yours. Watched it a while back, and I just recently watched it again. You talking about having goals and keeping goals and setting your mind to those goals, how important that is. I don't think people realize exactly how important that is. If you do not have any goals, you do not have a destination. You do not know what you're trying to achieve. You're just waking up and getting by through the day, surviving with no goal in mind. You have to have goals. During your run, I know you probably set a lot of goals. How often do you think you set goals? Are you a type of person that you set like small goals so you can get small wins, or are you the type that's like, I want to accomplish something like pretty significant?
I'm probably saying I don't probably be weighing my goals out. Like I pretty much just say I want to do something and I do it. I just I'm pretty big on holding myself accountable. Like I feel like that's one of my strengths is like just accountability.
Yes.
So I hold myself accountable. So like with my goals, if I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. You know what I'm saying? And then like when I don't, if I fall short, then I'll be tough on myself. Like I'm mad at myself. Like damn, like what you doing? Like you getting old. You feel me? Like you losing it right now. Like somebody about to, you feel me? Like so I push myself and so like, you know what I'm saying? Like and I feel like too, like the goals and everything, that's a lot of like staying on track, and a lot of that come by like what you got around you. Like who is around you? Like what are you looking at every single day outside of the internet? Because the stuff, the internet seems real close and it's mad far away. So like in real life, everything is, you know what I'm saying? So that like, so I always think like, what is somebody seeing, hearing on a daily basis? So me, it'd be like, that's what, you know what I'm saying? What I'm listening to. Like when I really want to get on my gritty, and I got stuff going on, I'm listening to the hardcore rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Motivational type shit. I also heard about you saying on this same thing, and speaking of motivation, you talked about how Jeezy's Thug Motivation pretty much motivated you to start this whole thing. Yeah. And it's so funny that you say that, because that album like motivated me to accomplish and do so much. Yeah. It just seemed like an album, and it just seemed like songs and beats and lyrics I was listening to. But like, it was like I was learning so many different mottos and shit just from listening to Jeezy talk and just ways of life that I was like instilling in myself,
right?
And things that I like wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. A lot from that album, and it seems like that album kind of touched you in the same way as it did me. For real, made you like get on the grind, start getting to it for real.
It motivated me to do like a lot of groundwork and foundation of like, again, like just, you know, like really like I feel like a man is somebody who keeps their word. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every time I feel like if I got a lie or I can't do something, I know I'm like chipping away at my, you know what I'm saying? Right. Myself. So like, like Thug Motivation was just like one of them Jones, like shit, I'm out here to fuck everybody up. Like this shit about to hurt. Like
facts.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get mines.
Yeah, that's exactly how I carried it for real. I remember when I was a young boy, I was driving with my pops and he had an old Scarface album. And the album was called My Balls and My Word. And I said, Pops, what this mean? And he explained to me what it meant and the meaning behind it all. And I'm like, damn. So you really got to keep your word as a man, especially just because you don't want to be that guy that people can't believe and can't count on, but is always talking and promising and over-promising people, because that's a quick way to get people to stop fucking with you. Because you definitely don't want to get people's hopes up and not be able to deliver for them. Then they just get frustrated, they'll get mad, and they won't fuck with you, won't talk to you. I know during the course of 10 years, I haven't even been having a studio for 2 years. I just now recently, probably this year, really made a decent effort to put myself out there, to talk to more people, to meet more people. And it's kind of crazy. Like, if I wouldn't have done that, I don't think that I would be in this position. But I know one thing, people look at me like I am going to do something for them. I know people look at you the same way. Yeah. They look at you like you are about to be their savior. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go lock in with Sue and he about to take me to the next level. I know that's what they be thinking. And it's hard to get artists out of that thought process. Like, you are the money. You have to put in the work. I might be able to put you in rooms, but none of that matters unless you do the work. How much of a burden do you think, like, you are the culture in Harrisburg I know that comes with like a heavy burden, because I know a lot of dudes up there is probably thinking that you finna do it for them, when at all actuality, it's really them that's gonna have to do it.
They gonna do the work. They just know that I could change their life. Yeah. And like, they seen what I've done before. So people already know. Like, just think, like a kid looking, and you looking up and you see somebody, you like, yeah, he cold, he good, but if he did that for me, right? That's how people look at it. So it's like, you having a studio and it puts you in a position, like you have something that other people want. So it's like, okay, if your expense is $80 an hour, right? Say $50 an hour. And you as an artist, what you need, if you're going to be legit, you probably need 8 hours a day. We don't keep it official. You probably need 40. Yeah. You need 40 hours a week to be okay. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you need 40. Just to be okay. You need 40. You ain't getting it. You ain't getting it without 40. You need, if you starting off and you want to be like the man for real, you need 40 in there. Yeah. That's basic. You know what I'm saying? You try and get tough, you get you a 60 or a 70. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you need to be in there all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? This isn't forever. Right. This is like,
till you get to where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. You need that time. That's so, like, things like that, you know what I'm saying? I know that, like, I could do that. Before, I was a little naive to that. Like, and I was thinking, like, man, I can't, and whoop. And I had to really think, like, if only people telling you can, they trying to do it, you can.
Yeah, facts.
You just need to be more accepting of who you are and what it is that you can do. Because we all take our gifts for granted.
Facts.
We all play with our gifts. And the crazy thing is, you might not even know it's a gift until you ain't got it no more.
Until you ain't got it no more, so you can't do it. Every time, that's exactly how it works. You don't know it. You don't know it till it's not there anymore. But I definitely agree with the amount of time that artists should be spending in the studio. I don't think they be really realizing that. I always try to tell these guys, man. I'll come in here and say, man, tell me your favorite artist. And I'm like, that nigga is in the studio right now.
Right now.
If he ain't at a show or doing something like regarding like the label or something, he probably in the studio, man. Them dudes, they stay in the studio. Like you said, they doing countless hours. They doing shifts in the studio. They're not coming in there laying a song and leaving. They come in there getting in the groove. They come in there laying one song. And them songs going to keep getting better because you're going to keep being in the groove. You're going to get more songs done that way rather than having to piece it out. You got to put the time in the studio. Your favorite artist is a hawk. He's in the studio. He busting his ass. I guarantee it. You got to spend the time in the studio. If you don't, you can't expect to be.
A lot of these guys never got in the pocket. You got to get in the pocket. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're making your records, The guy's going to let you know, like, all right, now that's the one right there. Now we in pocket. And now you know how, you know what I'm saying? So, like, all the investments and everything people got to do and, you know what I'm saying, what it really takes is all real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really, like, people trying to cut the corners and, you know what I'm saying? But I would say a lot of artists, a lot of people that I say came through the studio and stuff like that. Not everybody have been trying to make it. Mm-hmm. A lot of them is therapy driven. Right. You got to probably, like, especially a lot of the rappers, they're more therapy driven than they are actually thinking like, all right, I'm going to be the next Skies. Or I'm going to be the next Rec, the next Dirt.
Speaking of, man, Rec got this. What is his influence on the city? He got the city. I know so many little motherfuckers, man, that want to be him. Yeah. That want to sound like him, man, for real. And they not doing it like out of some weird shit. They doing it because they look up to him and they look up to his sound for real. Yeah. Like, I don't know if he knows it, but I definitely know it. I'll go here and nigga, I'm like, man, this nigga trying to be Reek right now. You know what I'm saying? I always know when you a good artist, when people are trying to sound like you. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of niggas, they want to sound like someone else, but when people want to sound like you, you're doing a good job because that means you created a sound for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? What do you think his influence on the city and surrounding it? I know it because I'll come in here and there'll be some youngins in here in the session and they got Reek playing. They watching the Reek video. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they just looking up, like essentially looking up to him. You know what I mean? Young guys looking up to young guys. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I know he's definitely touched a lot of people in this area. I know a lot of people are trying to sound like him right now. Yeah. A lot of people.
You know, it's that thing of like when people actually, they got to see it like up and close and personal. Like, okay, this a artist, he coming in, pro sounds, activated. You know what I'm saying? He working in there. You see it going on for about a good year and then bam, you see A Boogie signing him. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that to people when they see things like that, you got to think of what their mind is telling them. They really just seeing, oh, I just seen Reek at Pro Sound. Now he with Boogie. Yeah. You never see that.
Nah, you don't see that.
You know what I'm saying? He not in Philly with none of the guys. Whoa. He in New York with Boogie. Yeah. We in small town Harrisburg, PA. Yeah. So people like see stuff like that, and it's like,
yeah, they want to be a part of it. They want to be, yeah, for sure.
You know,
like you said, you don't see shit like that, especially because A Boogie's still a young artist. Yeah, a young artist taking another young artist under his wing and fuck with him for real. You don't see a lot of that. A lot of these dudes are just trying to take advantage of the young artists for real.
It was like I seen myself like around people. They had first. It was like I was I was doing my shows first, for real.
Yeah.
Like that really helped me build it up. So I was booking artists and like picking them. Like, okay, let me pick who I think is, because it was like, to be in Harrisburg, you can't get nothing too big.
Right.
So it's like I had to like pick who I was thinking was going to be next.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from that, and then I start, you know what I'm saying? Then I came up my P&B, and I knew mine. So I'm getting around artists and artists and artists.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, I got my artists.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you worked hard enough and long enough to be able to finally say that, for real.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I always tell people, man, you stay with it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a matter of you are going to be there and down long enough and determined long enough for it to happen for you.
I think a lot of it now is me. Like even with artists, I feel like I could take artists and get them right and do stuff like that, but I think it's me.
Yeah.
And now, because now like seeing, okay, it's like you said, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. It's starting to seem like that everything you kind of do works.
Right.
It ain't, you haven't seen it not work yet.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You have shows, oh yeah, they boom and everybody comes out. There's no shooting. Nobody shot. There's not even a fight going on time and time again. And we in Harrisburg in the dark in the cut. Like, you know what I mean? We making these venues. These aren't even like club venues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like the energy for me was always there. So now I just be getting down. I feel like, and it was like, again, like I had, people was getting mad at me. Like people would be mad at me for like not doing shit. Like they think I should help them out. And like, it was like what you were saying earlier. And that's where you like, you know what I mean? It'd be acceptance. Like you gotta be like, hold on. Like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah. Most definitely.
Because if not, they mad at you.
They
like,
mad at you because you can't do something for him. It's like, yo, and I know he can do it, but he just ain't doing it for me. They be really taking offense to that shit. Like, damn, he don't fuck with me. Like, nah, I do fuck with you. I just ain't got the time right now. You know what I mean? They don't really be trying to hear too much of that, for real. But you definitely stay down and stay with it. What do you think is next for you, and what you think is next for the studio? What's next for Pro Sound?
On one scale, it's the platform, the Rap Gallery platform, and that is essentially like basically a green screen video, along with an interview, unreleased song, and then basically like a short episode.
Okay.
About 30-minute episode. So it's basically the new platform. And I'm gearing that up for, like I said, it does Instagram. It does streaming services such as Netflix.
Right.
It does YouTube, and it does Spotify. So that's like the new thing is the platform. And then, you know, it's time to expand Pro Sounds and make more Pro Sounds out there, because
I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
That's been me. So like that was another thing, like, you know, like when I was getting like peeking in places and getting places and getting information and stuff, it was like make another studio here. Make another studio here. Like that was always the talk.
Right.
But for me, I still felt it's like I wanted to get that next big artist. Like I wanted to break an artist, and everybody was against that. Like, no, do the studio, do a studio. We can easily help you with that. We can easily do that. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to go through the artist thing.
Right.
And now I would say that like, yeah, that's like the near future is the popping up in bigger cities. Right.
Yeah, that's always essential. Showing your face. You've always done a pretty good job of that, being out and showing your face and getting people to know who you are and what you're about. Like I said, I've just recently started being like that. I was the type where I would be not saying nothing to nobody. I would just be there type nigga. And it wasn't because I got a problem with people, just because I'm just a chill, laid back type dude.
Right.
And I just wouldn't want to put myself out there, and sometimes it's like, damn, I don't even know if I really want to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, you got to. You know what I mean? Like, I essentially am the money. Good things happen when I put myself out there, when I put what I do out there. So it's like, I just have to do it.
For me, because I would probably say I'm an introvert too.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that was the character that I created, the Supa Dupa character, because it wasn't, I had to always remember it wasn't for me.
Right.
Because sometimes when it comes for me, I might not do it.
Yes.
So that was for Pro Sounds. That was like for the city of Harrisburg. Like when I did the I Am Harrisburg song, like, you know what I mean? Like every time I was doing something, like I said, like even with the videos, whenever I get caught up in doing this shit for myself is when I get tripped up.
Yeah, it'd be like that for real.
You feel me? Whenever I get on that selfish mode, it's time to tie your shoes, boy.
For certain, man. For certain, man. Before we get up out here, man, anything you want to say, anything you want to talk about, anybody you want to shout out, anything you want to say, now is the time.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Shout out to Connected Sounds. Shout out to Rello.
Thank you.
You know, shout out to Pro Sound. Shout out to Harrisburg. Shout out to York, Lancaster, the whole area that's been supporting us. Mm-hmm. You know, special shout out to my dad.
Yeah. I'll be seeing him on your vlogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost my mom at a young age. My dad has been like
held it down.
Literally, like, yes, like one of the driving forces. Like I see him and get so much motivation from that man. So, you know, shout out my dad.
That's what's up.
Shout out my cousin Hick. Shout out my brother Mar, my brother Keith, Bear, all my brothers, Kenny, you know. And definitely shout out Pro Sounds, man. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like the team down there that I got that, you know what I'm saying, as they go hard for me, bro. From like matter of fact, shout out all the engineers and
for sure.
All the people I ever had down there, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Shout out all those guys, man, for certain. I probably worked with quite a few of you. Not me personally, but I was in the studio while you was working.
Yeah.
For the most part. Definitely shout out Pro Sound. I appreciate you for coming through. You guys need to definitely make your way up to Harrisburg. Check out Pro Sound. If you already haven't, you definitely got to tap in with Rap Gallery. Anything that's giving you young artists a way out and a way to get your songs heard, you need to do it. Straight up, you need to do it. Especially with people that's coming legit with it. Sup been around for a while. You've been doing it for a long time. You need to tap in. Get that Rap Gallery. I want to see y'all niggas on that shit, man. For real. Get your songs out there, man. You just heard him, man.
Rap
you put
Gallery.
that shit together, man.
Yeah.
Get your shit on there. Put yourself out there. Put your songs out there, man. It's a good opportunity to do that. Take your ass up to Harrisburg and get it done. A lot of these boys around here, man, they be trying like that shit's a long drive. Yeah. Shit's not a long drive. If you lived in the big city, you live in LA or something like you say you want to, it's going to take you an hour to get nowhere. Take your ass up to Harrisburg, man. Tap in with Sup, tap in with Pro Sound, tap in with Rap Gallery, man. You already know.
Yeah.
It's DJ Rello. This is Supa Dupa Sultan, man, representing Harrisburg and Pro Sound Recording Studio. This has been Connected Sound Podcast, and we are out.